I've been out for a little over a year. I haven't been gone for that long. When I got out, I was a little, what you would call, technologically challenged. I had never seen a cell phone. So I was gifted a cell phone, which I had no idea how to use. In the beginning, I had to wait for people to hang up and I'd push the call back. Well, I was sitting there and the phone was ringing and my brother was saying, slide it over, slide it over. Of course, he was speaking about the bar at the bottom of the phone, but I took it literally and put the phone on the floor and slid. I eventually learned how to use the phone, and like numerous other people, I got on Facebook. And there I saw a flyer for another community organization, Nation Outside. Well, it wasn't the information in the flyer that caught my attention. What caught my attention was the address of where they were having it at. The address was 901 Melbourne. That was the address of the church that I had grown up in. And my father had pastored for 50 years and was the last place that I had been prior to my being incarcerated, because he had an office there, and I went to tell him what had happened because I wanted him to break the news to my mother because I didn't want her to have to find out about it on the news. Well, at that meeting, I met Alicia Johnson, one of our executive co-directors, and she invited me to some of the meetings of Michigan Liberation, which I went to, and the result was I was finally offered a position, and I'm now a member of Michigan Liberation. And during the few months that I've been out, I've been a part of several successful campaigns. One was the Michigan Mother's Day bailout we did in April. In April, we were able to unite several mothers with their families in time for them to spend Mother's Day with their families. But during our involvement, we discovered the problems that many people in our community were having with the criminal justice system. That first day that we went to bail out, it was exhausting and exhilarating at the same time. We spent 11 hours bailing mothers out that first day. It's not like you just go to the grocery store and pay at the counter. There's a process for ransoming someone's freedom, and that's my term there, ransoming the freedom. They call it bail. Anyway, we would spend 11 hours and we were exhausted and we were ready to leave. And as we were pulling the car out of the driveway, we got a phone call. It was from a young mother. She had gotten our car from another one of the mothers that we had bailed out. And she asked, could we help her? Well, like I said, we were tired and exhausted and ready to go. But we asked her for her family contact information. And we told her, without making any promises, we'd call and see what we could do. Well, we called her mother, who was at work. Her mother said she was unable to post her bail because her brother had just been killed the day before, and they were scraping up the money trying to pay for his funeral. But she told us that she was going on her lunch break in a few minutes and asked us if we could wait and meet her there. So we waited the 10 minutes, and her mother took her lunch break, came up there and met us. Excuse me, let me take a drink. She gave us a $20 bill because that was all she had, and that was all she could do. And that was so moving to us that we turned the car around, drove back to the jail, paid the $500 bond, and gave her a ride home. As a result of our experience with the Mother's Day bailout, we discovered a need for organizing a base to make the public aware of the problems and trying to come up with a solution to solve them. Our court watch problem was born out of this need, as was our understanding of the power we possess. We were able to raise over $30,000 to bail mothers out. By the way, a big thank you goes to Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib for the tremendous support that she gave us by sending a link out to her base getting donations for the Mother's Day bailout. And speaking of power, and our understanding of it, we were successful in lobbying the Oakland County Board of Commissioners to pass Ban the Box. Ban the Box was an initiative to have the box marked, "Have you ever been convicted of a felony?" removed from employment applications. This allowed people at least the opportunity to be interviewed for a job, whereas before, a check in this box effectively ensured that a person with a felony on their record would not be considered for employment. We persistently lobbied the commissioners, and as a result, we were allowed to give testimony before the entire Board of Commissioners. At that point, we successfully organized a group of directly impacted citizens, and we developed a strategy on how to best present the testimony to the commissioners. We also presented our findings on the district court to the Community Corrections Board, and we're now working with them to try to solve the problems. As a matter of fact, I'm now a member of their advisory board. As a young man, I was around organizing, and I didn't understand the power and the impact at that time. I remember it as if it was yesterday, even though it was 1965. I was 13 years old because it was before my 14th birthday. Okay, I'm getting excited. Okay, so you remember the address I told you, 901 Melbourne, that church on the north end of Detroit. That was a historic church in a black community. When people with the northern migration moved up from the south, they moved around people that they knew. So most of the people in the north end and the area surrounding that church were from Alabama, and they knew each other. And the church was like the central focus of their neighborhood. Well, that Sunday when we went to church, I knew that something was wrong, something was different about, I looked forward into going back over there because that was my old neighborhood. I had friends, cousins, and I only got to see them once a week. Okay, so I gotta wrap this up right quick. I'll make this quick. So anyway, we went to church that Sunday, and there was no sermon, but there was singing. And this woman sung a song. Her name was Willie Woods. And she sung the song, "Trouble in My Way." And she was narrating, and she said, when I'm talking about trouble, I'm talking about Selma, Alabama. And they were arranging who was going to drive, who was going to watch the kids, who was going to cook, and that was organizing at its highest level. And that was when I was first introduced to it. And during this past year being involved with this organization, I understand how important and